Now, Tulark, the underdogs, I guess now, just because of that last result, they got a lot to prove here. Got to come back. They got to get their own victory. They got to get 2 games against Blaze. Can they do it is the question.
So for game number 1 of this best of 3, it's finally swapping it up. It's going to be Tomb of the Spider Queen, as they already started off this draft. So I say let's get to it because everybody loves a good draft. And, you know, as you said, like this is pretty much like a rematch then, isn't it?
It is. And so we're starting to see some really interesting picks and bans so far. So let's talk about that first ban. We see a first ban coming out there from Blaze. It's going to be Zeratul.
Weird. Okay, but sure.
All right. You know, first ban, Zeratul. Seems pretty cool. Second ban, it's Rexar.
Yeah, I had to actually do a double take. I'm like, am I actually banning out Rexar in this overlay? Yeah, totally am. I mean, the Rexar, the Avatar, the zoning control, the CC bot, it worked out phenomenally well from Blaze. So that's going to be up on that chop block. Jaina's going to be the first pick here. It is Tomb of the Spider Queen. So taking a Jaina first, like, it's very powerful, but it's also very vulnerable because it's a very small map, right? So Team Blaze has to figure that they can actually protect her well enough. And what do we got on the flip? Zagara, followed by who?
Zagara followed by that Leoric. So we're going to see that King Leoric popping on in here. Nothing really too surprising with any of these first picks. And we're seeing that Kael'thas and Johanna go on over here to Team Blaze. They've got Jaina. They got Kael'thas. The Song of Ice and Fire is happening.
I haven't seen double mages put together in a long while, but Kael'thas, Jaina together, that's a squishy comp. I mean, it feels like we have to double tank after this, but what support would you put with that? Uther, I would bet, as your number 1, but I don't think Blaze has any chance of getting it now.
I don't know either. I mean, with the double bans coming in the next couple, yeah, getting that Uther is going to be a little bit rough. But it could still be viable. I mean, Tulark, they're up next, so they can pick up that Uther if Team Blaze doesn't ban it out. But the question is what do they go for their ban? They're really thinking about this as well. They're really kind of using up their time pool because really nothing has been shown just yet, and they need to decide what type of support they want to go for. They've been really like that Malfurion.
Well, Tulark is going to have free reign of their support as well as you know, a ban on a support, but all right, so Tulark is going to actually ban out the Sonya. Now, we have seen Sonya as a response to a lot of these heavy warrior comps. Leoric is very likely not solo tanking this, and now that they've removed, you know, something of that counter, Sonya also does very good on this map simply because it's small. You can roam a lot. The spear over the wall is actually phenomenal engage if you catch them off guard, and she's very survivable. And now you can see here, I mean, after that, we're forced into an Uther ban.
Yeah, the Uther ban does come in, so now Tulark has to decide what they want to go for support. As I said, they've been going for Malfurion a ton. They're going to continue on that journey. The question is, do they go for the double warrior here, or do they wait for one more pick and see what Team Blaze goes for more of a sniping warrior for their last pick?
Well, they are going to snipe the Malfurion. So whoever they do actually decide... I mean, this backline is very vulnerable. Tulark could probably get away with Ethereal.
They could. But still, I mean, Kael'thas is vulnerable, but Jaina not so much. She goes for Ice Block at level 13. It's just almost impossible to really get a good
Deny, though, also takes away another Ice Block potential from Blaze. And check out that zone control coming in with Arthas. Arthas Leoric. It's quite the fearsome comp.
Yeah, they're going to have a lot of peel available to their team. So with Zagara already there, no doubt going to be seeing a second range damage come in there for Tulark as their last pick. And Tomb of the Spider Queen, don't really blame them. This is a map where you really have to just kind of sit behind your web weavers when you get that objective and then just kind of poke away. Zagara and Malfurion are also really good on this map because of their poke potential and stopping those gem turn-ins.
Kharazim very quickly picked up here for Team Blaze. They're not going to try to juggle out their time pool at all, it seems. They just really want to solidify that. And we saw this. I mean, Yuj showed us some really good seven-sided strikes. Really knows how to play the mobility of this character, keep those heals going. Now, the big thing is, will this be second tank? Will this be a flex? A Tassadar, for example, could fulfill the role of another frontliner. Hard to kill. Also brings utility with shields. Could even go for healing ward and let Kharazim get a protective shield as well.
Yeah, but Tassadar is really kind of rough in most situations right now, just because he's kind of the master or jack of all trades, but master of really zero.
Right.
And so I don't feel like
That's why he's a flex pick.
I know he's a flex pick, but with that issue is that they've got Karazim and they've got Johanna in the front line. They need another frontliner because we saw this before. If you have just Karazim poking very far forward without a lot of peeling for him, then you just take a lot of free damage, especially if we're going to obviously see 2Arc go for a third range. Actually, they might still go for... I've never seen it before, but it could be a triple warrior here.
Okay.
Ooh, they've got Jaina, they've got Johanna. Why not go for the Asmodan?
Not the big frontliner I was expecting, but he does have the warrior's hit points scaling. Not exactly going to be dropping down real quick, but Arthas, once he gets Asmodan in his grasp, I mean, he's not going to go anywhere. He's a big character model, and he has no escapes. And as soon as that, Howling Blast or the Tempest comes into it, it's going to be just kited down for days. Asmo, though, does have laser hands, and level 13 with March coming into that, he could actually be an answer here to any kind of big aggression from Arthas. Because Arthas will either have to eat the lasers. There's no stuns available on that team, by the way, for 2Arc right now.
Wow, 2Arc down to the last couple of seconds. They go for Raynor. Okay, so this is... I was kind of curious. I've never seen Zagara, I don't think, with a triple warrior composition, but I was thinking maybe because the Asmodan is there, they might go for it, just because that would just give him a lot of tankiness.
Late game push is going to be very hard against Team Blaze as well, especially if we stack correctly with Johanna, with Jaina. They have basically the dream stacking. So you get the damage, throw it into the back lines. Zagara, Malfarian will be big targets there. Laser hands for the tanks in the front. The only thing that could actually stun Asmo out of it would be the pushback from Raynor. And Raynor now coming in, giving out Inspire and zone control of a zone with the Hyperion. Feel like it has to be a Hyperion. They're really looking to try to counter the counter. I think the Asmodan pick was actually really cool.
Yeah, I think that's a great pickup here.
Will it work? I don't know, but it's really cool.
Tomb of the Spider Queen. It has to work, right? Like Arthas has to poke super far forward, and he's a non-escapey warrior. He's got a lot of tanking, but he doesn't really have any ways to get out of trouble. So him going forward in order to try and stop that Asmodan from moving back and forth between lanes, stop that giant 4-hero rotation coming in there from Team Blaze, is going to be really difficult.
There's no Abathur here, Jason. Not today, but if I have to guess, he's the one playing the Asmo.
Yeah, it seems like to be the specialist of the team.
Yep. I'd go with that. All right. So cool kind of stuff coming up from the drafts. Just a lot of Raynor play. Arthas has finally come back into it. No, he's going to play the kill. Cool. Okay. We saw the rise of Arthas kind of like solidify with Vegas last weekend. Of course, we've already seen Leoric and Zeratul amongst the upper echelons of picks and bans. Jaina still remains pretty high up there, but Kael'thas has kind of supplanted her, at least coming up into this game, as like that first pick potential. This time it was Jaina into Kael. Some games we didn't even see Jaina, but still very much a viable damage dealer.
So... yeah, the Kael'thas is going to be really scary just to deal with in general because he's going to get some really nice targeting just for that backline, and anything that he kind of starts getting some damage on, Asmodan can immediately capitalize on with some big globes. Raynor and Zagara are now in a huge just situation in which they just have to constantly be aware of how much damage they could potentially take from a random globe. And with Kael'thas throwing down some living bombs that turn into chain bombs at level 13, they're going to take like a little bit of damage. They'll be like, chain bomb normally hits me. And it's like, oh, now I can die from there's a globe. Bam, dead. It's, these types of long range damages, it's really scary. Now, Jane is a little bit more bursty. She's a little bit closer range. They don't have to worry so much about her leading into a giant Asmodan globe. But I guess that possibility still exists. But really, the Kael'thas is, I think, a lot more frightening.
Rexxar was indeed a first ban here, guys.
Yeah.
My draft reads inward. Every other draft, I think, reads outward. But if you didn't see the semifinal game, you don't know why Rexxar was banned. Well, you're going to have to catch the VOD on that one because, wowee. Team Blaze and that Rexxar is certainly worth it. My God.
Some really good play. Really, really good play. So we're jumping on into the game number 1 here. This is a best of 3, finally. Woo! Between these two teams. Blaze is going to be spawning over here on the left-hand side.
I love the Twitter war that's going on between
these two. Sorry, take that back. It's 2Arc. 2Arc on the left-hand side.
2Arc's on the left.
So it's going to be 2 Arc over here in the blue. Sunshine on the Arthas, Crone on the Zagara, Insomnia on the Malfurion, Trader playing the Leoric, and LZ Gamer on that Rainer.
LZ Gamer on Rainer. Woo! Claudius is going to be our specialist today on Asmodan. We'll keep a running total of his stacks. Battery, Jason, Rafflecopter, and Yuge once more with the 7-siding Striking Monk.
Looking at the talents, nothing too crazy coming on in here. We only see 2 Regen Globe talents coming down there for both teams, actually. No, I'm sorry, only one team has got 2 Regen Globe talents. So they're not going to go for the massive 4-hero rotation. Oh, actually, as I'm talking about that, Trader gets completely caught out by surprise and goes down as first blood over here for Team Blaze.
Well, not the worst. He's back already.
He's back.
All right, so right now we see a lot of 4-man comps into the mid for the stacking. Right now it's a 5-man comp, and well, I mean, that cleared out the wave really quickly. There's the laser hands on LZ, but Johanna, like, the 2-Arc didn't go anywhere. They didn't collapse to other lanes. I think that was a tad too greedy from Blaze.
Yeah, and because they were just playing a little bit too greedy from Blaze, they have the return kill on them. And so that's going to be a 1-for-1 right now. And we're seeing just Jason versus the Zagara in the bot lane. And curious to see just how this whole entire game is going to go. Already we're starting to see those 4-hero roaming squads between both these teams.
Well, a lot of it is going to be Sunshine and Trader just trying to either control Rafflecopter or Battery. Since Battery has to go so far forward to get, you know, that Condemn ready to go for the setup for Claudius, they're very likely just going to keep trying to pick on him as much as they can, because that's how you have to shut down Asmo. You got to try to take down either the Jaina or the Johanna, and those are the tools.
Or you just make, you know, the Asmodan feel so incredibly unsafe, he doesn't like have the ability to really kind of poke out at all. Battery does have to back up there with the Iron Skin. We see the Entangling Roots come down there. LZ Gamer getting engaged upon by Yuge, but he probably has another Radiant Dash to get on out of there. We see Jason and Crone going for that little bit of just back and forth in that bot lane. I don't think anything's going to really happen there. Probably Zagara. Jason's going to take a little bit of an advantage eventually, but for now, as long as Kael'thas has got mana, they're good.
All right, so far, I mean, they are continuing to hammer on top of Battery, and Claudius doesn't technically need to be leaving his lane in order to get this done. It's just much easier when it's, you know, you control it like this, and boom. It's just, it's starting to work out really well. 28 damage and counting. It's not, you know, the best, but it's definitely better than what 90% of the rest of us can do. And so far, 2-Arc, I mean, they keep following, but they're not really stopping this. So is there going to be a change in tactics? Will they start camping bottom lane? If they can't win the other two, you got to try to at least win one, right?
That's quite true. We see Crone down there in the bot lane, throwing down those Hydralisks to really zone out Jason, which is one of the most annoying things to have to deal with when you're going against the Zagara. Another huge Globe of Annihilation to get some more taste for blood stack there from Claudius. He does get hit by that Howling Blast, but not enough damage to actually take him out. Battery actually is the one who's low here.
They were trying to get Battery too on that. Does Battery take Laws of Hope? He totally does. Yeah. That's going to be fantastic for keeping him going on this one. Now, that wasn't exactly the best of stacks. Rafflecopter's running low on health and mana. Does Raffle actually have the well? No, he does, so he's not going to be going anywhere. Johanna's still a little bit far out from her well. But 2-Arc, they're still going to just stick with this.
Actually, LZ Gamer in the back line taking a good amount of damage there from Battery. There's a healing ward going down here just to keep everybody alive, and keep in mind, Penetrating Round can clean those up.
So, Monk healing ward? Is that what I heard?
Yeah.
Yep. Monk healing ward. All right. A little bit of AoE to go with him as well there. Claudius still doing a pretty good job of stacking. 52 now in 3 minutes. Not bad at all. Trader's juggling that hit point. LZ! Didn't have that adrenaline.
Last little bit of damage coming in there from Rafflecopter was just enough to take him out.
And here comes Jason.
Now we're seeing the Howling Blast on Yuge, taking a good amount of damage, but they turn it around on Trader as he was just trying to go for that kill himself.
Raffle has to hit that. Oh, he already hit the well. He has, I think, one more Blizzard. Yeah, he'll have one more Blizzard for this, so that should be it for him. He should head back after this, but Yuge a little bit low hit points. Sunshine not really going to be able to make that connect, though.
Rafflecopter in melee range of a lot of heroes there for 2-Arc, and that's going to get punished. He's going to go down. It's going to be 6 and 6 for both these teams. Jason's so incredibly low.
Rush Shards, Frozen Waves, Healing Wards, the Laws of Hope. Yeah, Jason is not winning this lane, but again, if you're winning the other two, you got to be, you can't really expect to win the third, but hey, still 2 for 1 at this point. And the big thing is Claudius is not really getting stopped on this Globe of Annihilation. 76 damage and counting now.
Yeah, if he hits even, 150 by the time they're level 10, he's going to be great.
It'd be funny if like surprise orb came down for Jason. Like Jason throws down the ping for a grasp and then an orb. That would actually be phenomenal.
That could possibly work. You see Sunshine. Oh, actually, Yuge is possibly body blocking. No, Trader was the one body blocking there, and that's going to be him surviving long enough to start walking away, but unfortunately is going to fall at the very last second there, so it's going to be a nice little trade. 2 for 1, though, as Johanna also fell there.
It's a better trade for 2Ark for sure. Not only the 2 for 1, but now, again, like a little bit of a reprieve from the stacking. They're not going to have to deal with that. Yuge has already hit that fountain. It's going to come up here in a little bit. And he's really low on mana. I expect him to be heading home, and that's why Battery's now up here. They got to wait for Claudius to come back anyways, so while that was happening, Blue Web Weavers are now going to be descending from 2Ark, and Jason, like, I was looking for a gank from Jason's team, but it's instead going to be Trader coming down.
Yeah, and Trader actually almost took out Jason. That Drain Hope was just so incredibly close, but it did get disengaged because Jason was able to run out of vision of it. We see some pretty good pressure coming in here from 2Ark in the mid lane. They're going to look like they're going to pressure in with this Web Weaver. Jason in a lot of trouble, already in a defensive position with the Zagara pushing in with a Web Weaver. It's a lot for him to deal with. And they're already completely obliterating this middle lane wall.
Yeah, bottom is going to be dropping fairly soon here as well. Not much that Jason can do up against Crone. There's the laser hands from Claudius, and we'll actually just clean up that Web Weaver, no problem. But they still have a full hit point one up top. To the credit, though, I mean, Blaze does have quite a bit of ammo left in that, so they should not take huge amounts of damage from it, but 2 sets of gates on the first turn in Kev, that's pretty impressive.
Actually, they might be able to grab that top wall gate as well. I mean, the Web Weaver is still pretty healthy, and all the ammo is gone. Globes ain't doing that much just yet, and we're seeing level 10 just about to get hit here by 2Ark. So they do take out the Web Weaver, but that wall has fallen as well. Oh,
I'll stand corrected. That's going to be level 10, about a level between the teams, and 6 towers from a push. My word. Now, we do have 8 gems in the bank, and 54 kind of free floating around here for Blaze. So if they can get some kind of pressure, they might be able to get a turn in, which will, you know, at least alleviate them and put them to 10. But I don't think they can really generate what they need to here.
Well, you know what's fun is that we always
look at Trader.
Like
oh my God, that position is so good.
It's always good to think about. Oh wow, actually, Syndragosa comes down. I was gonna say Claudius. You know, they're losing a little bit in this early game, but that's okay because Claudius is going to scale so incredibly well into the late game that, you know, losing a little bit here is fine. They're a little bit behind. That's not the best, but they can turn this around. So definitely don't start counting Blaze out of this game just yet, especially because we saw those avatar competitions before really kind of taking flight later on. 7-sided strike coming out in here from Yuge, but it hits so many heroes. Not sure if it was really worth it. The Globe, though, at the last second does pick up that Rainer takedown. Yuge now disengaging. Claudius getting caught in the maw. The Hyperion does clean up the rest of that fort. Battery coming in here.
I don't know where that orb was going, but it definitely did not land on top of Trader. 1-0 trade. The Monk somehow did actually escape with his life. Yuge is really on top of his exit and intro exit points. But 1-0, they traded out for a fort. That's not the worst. Claudius, however, is still stacking.
Yeah, and he's getting a lot more stacks. More and more pretty much every single time we take a look at him. He's up to 150 now. And he hit level 10, so that's what I was kind of hoping for. And he's getting those Blackpool Globes of Annihilations in there, so that's going to really help out his stacking. He's, you know, he's not going for any type of records, but he's still going to be able to do a good amount of damage.
You don't need to do a record in order to still do a good Asmo. There's the Red Web Weavers coming out now as well. They did get enough of that pressure with that kill in order to finally turn in. They got to be feeling good. Down to 42, 68 on person here for 2Ark. If any of these fights go bad, I mean, like, you got 11 there on Sunshine. Where's the majority? Yeah, Crone bottom lane, 35. If we jump Crone, that's a big blow to those that gem count.
Right, we're seeing the middle lane coming in here as well. They're just really pushing on in here. And the question here is whether or not they can get as much done as 2Ark did in their first set of Web Weavers. We can see that this Web Weaver is actually getting cleaned up pretty quickly.
Oh, LZ. That popped his adrenaline right there.
Yeah, it did.
He doesn't have a fountain either.
Leave him a little bit vulnerable, but I don't think he's going to be pushing on
coming up.
But Crone, though, going really far forward, is actually going to be able to get that kill, though. Yuge coming in. Crone, we were talking about this. He's a lot of gems, but they are able to pick them all up. Trader now sitting with 40 gems. LZ with another 17. But for the time being, it looks like Blaze is not feeling safe enough. They back up.
I think they did actually recover all those gems, so it's not the worst. I
no.
think Trader has them, right? Yeah, 40 gems on Trader. So 12-12. Fights are getting pretty dicey here. Shield glare there. Battery just trying to keep Trader from turning in. Is that going to be condemned? Is he really going to try to condemn this? No, it was way too late.
So 40 out of 55. They've got a lot handed in, and they've got another 41 sitting in their pockets. Those gems are massive. I don't know how they're fitting 40 gems into their pockets.
Big pockets, man. Battery with that damage, it's not enough. Even with the Inspire.
UFO jeans or huge cargo pants.
Well, they have a bottomless hole. That's what they have. Bottomless hole, man.
Or Roger cubes.
All right, if Sunshine can turn in, that will be enough. That's why Rafflecopter and Yuge are kind of poked back here. We didn't have any mana on Claudius, and Battery needed to hit the fountain, so we don't exactly have huge amounts of pressure from Blaze. And if Yuge isn't careful, all right, he's going to seven-sided strike, but he should be able to Radiant Dash out of this. I think he's all right.
Yeah, he's okay for now. Oh, the Drain Hope just misses. He does survive. The Healing Ward is good enough. They take down LZ Gamer for their troubles as well. A really nice turnaround there. Leoric falls. This is actually really nice for them. They still have 52 gems in their pockets, though.
Did they lose any permanent? I don't think they lost any.
I don't think so.
Yeah. Yuge once again escaping with his life. As soon as he Radiant Dashed, I thought he was going to Radiant Dash to an ally just to run, but he went to Leoric. Got the kill, sure, fine, but man, what a heart attack. Bottom lane was the one to turn in, though.
Crone was the one who had a lot of those gems, I think, back up again. He was just kind of pushing into that bottom lane for quite a bit.
How many did Kale have? He couldn't have had too many. He still got 44 in pocket. But Kale did die on its own. He got 2v1s.
Yeah, I'm not curious. I'm not actually sure how many they had at the time.
This is a big bottom lane push. Like, this is a really big bottom lane push.
This is, and actually, going pretty well in their favor. They're actually able to kind of, yeah, this is going to go really well for them, at least in that bottom lane. But the mid lane does lose its fort. Blaze in a little bit of trouble here.
Well, they're getting pushed back. We do have a Hyperion. Now, last fight, we didn't actually have a Maw go off. Zagara got caught, and she decided it wasn't worth it. So, not entirely too sure what we'll see, but Seven Syndragosa, Maw, and March of the Black King are all ready to go. A nice Maw here could actually just turn some tides.
And there's a lot of people grouped up here, but Crone just a little bit too far away. Claudius up to 200 some stacks now. I believe currently at 254, so he's sitting really good. A Maw to really block off not only picking up those two heroes, but also block up the gate from being able to walk through here.
There it is.
That's Jason going down. That's Claudius going down to Yuge. Making a good amount of hits. He's actually not going to fall, but we're going to see Trader fall for his troubles. Rafflecopter trying to stay here on the other side of the map, trying to really defend this gate, but it's not going to work out so well. The Entangling Root's going to grab him. He does pop the ice block to stay alive for a little bit longer. Trader about to respawn. Rafflecopter coming back on in here, but Crone throwing down some really good damage. Johanna falls. Yuge and the Jaina Rafflecopter don't have enough to really defend this. This is going to be a keep here for 2ARC.
You know, on Haunted Mind maps, if you get in, you get the skulls, and you get out, and you don't even have 50, we like to call that just 2ARC it. I think we gotta redub this. Like, Zagara Maw's Zero to Avoid Prisons into just destroy everything has been the name of the 2ARC game this entire event. We've seen this now 3 separate times, win 3 separate sets to get here into the finals for them. They throw down that Maw, and then March of the Black King, Hyperion, Syndragosa, everything comes out. And it's been working out pretty fantastically, I gotta say.
This is the new 2ARC, my friend. They've reformed, and they've got a new style to their name, and they're doing it really well so far in the last couple of tournaments I've been casting of them.
Yuge has 50 gems. 50 gems. LZ, I don't think will let him do this.
No. Yeah, LZ's not going to let him. Trader's not going to let him. Nobody's going to let him.
We have Executioner on LZ.
Ooh, here comes the Syndragosa for the engagement. Trader now going into Rafflecopter. He does have to pop the ice block as the Entangling Roots comes down, but they are able to turn it around onto Crone. The March of the Black King coming in there from Trader is not going to do enough work here. Battery in the back line gets chased away by LZ Gamer. Trader now falls. Looking really good here. The Globe does take out LZ Gamer. And this is looking great here for Blaze. This is that late game composition. They take out Sunshine as well. And it's looking pretty dark for 2ARC for the next couple of moments. Yeah, they're going straight for that boss.
4 for 0 exchange. What even started that? LZ stopped the turn-in with the Monk. That's what started it.
And Trader came in from the other side, and then they eventually went straight on into a Maw, I believe, to set that up.
Yeah, there was a Maw. We didn't. Hyperion was still on cooldown. I think Tranquility at the beginning was still on cooldown, but it's off now. So that was just a really good punish from Team Blaze. They said that they have these really long cooldowns. We can actually take this. I don't think they meant to take this, but once it happened, they're like, wait, why are they being so aggressive on us? 4-0.
So that started that up.
No, it was totally LZ. He attacked the monk when he was turning in. Then
yeah, but I mean, like, Syndragosa was the one that was the real good engagement. Anyway, but we're starting to see Yuge now trying to go for this turn, and we've got 3 members here of 2Ark trying to fend off this boss.
It's gonna happen. Yeah, with 3 people, with everybody basically busy. Boss into Web Weavers is a really nice combo. That should actually be double fort, depending on how far this mid actually goes.
The question is, can we really see some capitalization coming in there from Blaze? I mean, they're down a heap. They're down so many forts. They have so many forts they have to chew through here for 2Ark, but they took a really good fight. Can they make this into something that's going to even up the game a lot more than just levels?
So again, Raynor has Executioner as a note, using the Skeletal Swing, using Arthas for the zone control, and all those slows that stack up. Malfurion on top of that as well. So he's been hitting pretty hard. He has the Giant Killer as well as the Focus, Seasoned Marksman at the end of it. He has how many stacks? 34 stacks. Thank God, I was gonna say. 34 stacks of damage in 16 minutes. That's not shabby, man.
Yeah, that's really good. But he's taking a lot of damage from the other hero that has a lot of stacks. Claudius just completely chunked him from so far away. We're seeing that fort in the mid lane take a good amount of damage, but not enough for it to actually go down. The top lane still has its Web Weavers. And we're seeing the rest of 2Ark kind of come in here. Web Weaver does fall there in the top lane. And we're starting to see Blaze back up. They know they're not feeling too safe right now.
Rafflecopter waiting over that wall would have been really amazing, actually, if they had landed right into it. All the ults are now up. Phoenix is back. Everything is ready to go. 18-18. All that level advantage is gone here from 2Ark. They had a really good engage and then a really terrible one. Well, it will be the best of 3 of this count.
Yeah, this is looking really good for both these teams to take this series to probably the 3rd game. Sunshine now getting hit by a Phoenix, as well as a good amount of damage there from Jason. Has to back up for a little bit.
354 damage and counting. 380-ish damage and counting.
Jeez.
17 minutes? Like, I mean, I do a lot of Asmodee. I like to think of myself as a specialist player, but most pub games, I'm lucky to get 200 by now. He's about another, 50, 60% more than that, which is, again, fantastic. You don't have to be setting records.
Oh, but Jason way out of position, and that's going to be a perfect collapse from 2Ark to get perfect advantage of that. Rafflecopter and the rest of them trying to come in here. I don't know if I agree with this. Actually, really nice 7-side strike. He's going to be able to take out Trader, but a huge ball. The Syndra goes way too early.
Yeah, that was definitely a little bit of a troublesome one right there. Trader also doesn't have that March of the Black King. He's also dead. Crone is now just like, oh, all right, well, this is not working. This is the first time we've seen this get defeated. Sunshine's going to drop for sure here. I don't think Insomnia can keep him going, and that'll be a 4-for-1. The Maw was great, but they didn't juggle the ults correctly.
They did not line everything up perfectly at all. And a really good 7-sided strike really punished Trader when he pushed forward. And that's going to be another set of Web Weavers here for Blaze.
As I said, I think that the Asmodee pick as the last pick was really cool because it fulfills a lot of different things. It's a small map. It's easy to stack up for him. They have an immense wave clear, immense burst with the double mage and him. And, this is the 2Ark. We've been giving a lot of praise for the 2Ark combination. And, rightly so. They've been able to execute it pretty much flawlessly until now. This shows the downside of not doing those ultimates correctly.
You're right, and just because those ultimates just didn't really hit the mark, we're seeing Blaze just take a perfect advantage of this situation. They've got some really great situations going on for them. The Web Weavers in the bot lane, look at how healthy that Web Weaver is. And because they've got that Asmodee, they can really besiege 2Ark anytime they try to defend. And just look, they can just clean up waves without even having to spend Black Hole. But here comes another Syndragosa engage. Can it actually turn into a good one? No, they actually get pushed back immediately.
I think it was more of just a feint. I mean, we don't actually even have Tranquility up.
No.
Here comes Hyperion as well. Now they could go for it, but it's way too late. That keep's going to drop. Trader's going to actually try to defend out mid as best he can, but I mean, it's also level 19 to 20, Kev. Like, they don't really have a good position unless they can get a fantastic Maw. Maw, Hyperion, and March could actually be it, but Crone wasn't even on the front lines. Now here he is. But, I mean, we're splitting. It's really hard to kind of catch even 2 people off on that front line. And now with everyone backing, Claudius is out of mana. He's going to be maxing out here fairly soon. He's at 434.
434. And we see actually those level 20 talents coming in here. We actually should probably take a quick look at the Monk talent. Transgression. 4 hits added to 7-sided strike. Now it's 11-sided strike. But that doesn't sound as cool, so they put it as Transgression.
11-sided strike, I think, would have been perfect. All right.
I mean, it kind of rhymes with 7, but...
Yeah, 7-11. It's all good. All right, they're going to check out this boss. Notice, actually, both teams checking out boss. Just not entirely too sure where they all were, I suppose, despite the fact the majority of them are on the minimap. Level 20s on both sides. 2Arc have a small window here before some of those bottom lanes start stacking up to kind of get something done. Otherwise, they are going to be forced to deal with it.
I haven't talked about talents in a bit. Let's take a look at Executioner, Giant Killer, Nexus Frenzy.
Yep.
Match that up with that Syndragosa. That LZ gamer is going to be doing a lot of damage from all the help from his team. He gets a little help from his friends.
He maxes out range. At this level, he has the same range as a Sergeant Hammer with that Nexus Frenzy. So he is the longest ranged hero in the game. I mean, that is his trait. Advanced optics. You see and shoot farther than anyone.
And it really helps out Blessed Shield to initiate this fight. A lot of good damage being there from the 7-sided strike, 11-sided strike, I should say. Marshal the Black King doesn't quite do as much damage as it would really probably like to have. Jason now going to be able to zone away Trader and take him down. Rafflecopter taking a good amount of damage is going to go down, but they already pick up 2 kills here and a lot of just domination on the map.
It's also important to notice that there was no Hyperion.
No.
They killed out, I think they even killed him through Adrenaline Overload. I don't think that the health turn was enough.
Wow, they're going straight for the core here, but they're taking a good amount of damage there on Jason. Jason's got to get away a little bit too brazen was Blaze, and they are going to get punished for it pretty dearly. We see Claudius having to use the Bolt Battery now, trying to get out of here.
I don't think, can Battery actually outrun the Sunshine? I don't think he can. He's going to have to pop Indestructible. Yeah. There it is. Sunshine's just not letting him go.
Great.
He's done.
Some great zoning there. Zoning.
Could this be the counter throw, Kev? Right here. Huge is even going to get caught. He has nobody to Radiant Dash to.
Oh, he's got it to Claudius. It's so close. Does he have another one available? I think so. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He does.
No, he doesn't.
Well, he did, because he just used it again.
Okay, cool. This is a fantastic boss timing, though. I think Blaze got a little bit too greedy with that one. They lost out all their coins. Sorry, they lost out all their gems. They didn't get another keep. They didn't even break core. 2Arc is all up.
Way too greedy there from Blaze. I mean, I really didn't see the call making sense at all. And, oh god, Rafflecopter.
Wow.
What?
Is there no blink on Jaina? Doesn't matter when she's rooted, I suppose. Yeah.
Well, I mean, he wasn't rooted for the good amount of time, but there's the 11-sided strike, and not going to be able to do enough. Yuge goes down as well. I don't understand that call at all from Blaze. And that
Syndragosa, late to the party, I suppose. But boss, there's no keep here. This boss is going to core. 23 minutes and a 5-man defense or a 5-man offense. That's it.
That's game.
Can they defend this? 2Arc did, but I don't think Blaze can defend this now.
I don't think so either. We can see some pretty good damage coming in here already from the boss. The boss is just not getting withered away at all. The ice block from Insomnia with the tranquility is keeping everybody alive, and the core is starting to fall. There it is. We start to see 2Arc take game number 1 against Blaze.
GG is coming out from 2Arc. I'd feel really silly if I was in Blaze's shoes right now.
Yeah, I would as well. There was some really interesting calls at the end of the game, and by interesting, I mean didn't really make that much sense.
Well, the fearsome Arthas-Leoric combo once more coming into it. LZ Gamer was a big target in a lot of these fights. In fact, multiple fights. Oh, I need your webcams here. Multiple fights. He even died before even Hyperion could even come out to it. But by the end of it all, I mean, his auto attack builds was a lot of damage. And, I mean, it looks like it was enough. He was enough of a magnet for the damage and the burst, and he did enough damage in order to make everything else happen. A little bit shaky in the mid, though, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, it was looking really good in favor of Blaze for just so long, but some of those calls at the end of the game, you know, you can do as much work as you can in the mid game and really take a really great pace, but it doesn't matter if you just throw it the last couple of seconds, and that's all that required for 2Ark to really be able to capitalize on some of those misplays, and they took out their opponents in a blaze of glory.
Easy peasy, man. All right, game number 2 going to be coming up then. Maybe we're seeing another different map other than, you know, what we've only seen of Sky Temple and Cursed Hollow. But I tell you, these drafts are phenomenal. I really liked the Asmodan by the end of it. Nearly won them the game. He nearly maxed out as well. Fantastic stuff. But 2Ark was patient, and they got it, man. They got it. So what are we going to see game 2? Like, we saw Rexar ban. You think that could happen again, or are they going to kind of let him back in?
I would have to say, like, you know, they won and they had a Rexar ban. That correlation kind of stands. I would have let that correlation stay into game number 2. I would still put that Rexar ban down.
All right.